In the past 4 months, the CDC has reported 704 cases of the measles in the United States alone. This increase is due to the recent anti-vaccination movements. Everyone is affected by the anti-vax movement because it's bringing back diseases that were once taken care of. It is decreasing our herd immunity and making people susceptible to disease. I work in the medical field and have become interested in this subject since I've heard about cases of measles, mumps, and the bubonic plague becoming more prevalent. Vaccinating is very important because vaccines were created to help eradicate diseases, and without vaccinating, we're putting others at risk. Vaccine-preventable diseases like the measles are becoming more prevalent within our community because of the anti-vaccination movement. So, we must start enforcing vaccinations to build up our herd immunity once more. First, I will mention the problem that diseases that were once a thing of the past are becoming more and more common. Next, I will discuss how there has been an insurgence of people no longer vaccinating their kids because they fear what's inside the vaccine. Finally, I will discuss the ways to avoid getting vaccine-preventable diseases, which is by vaccinating, and how we should make vaccines mandatory or quarantine those who have not gotten the vaccines, because in this way we can avoid potential outbreaks. Now I'm going to focus on how and why measles has made a comeback and what the disease entails. The problem is that measles has come back and people have stopped vaccinating their kids. First, what is measles? According to the Journal of Pure and Applied Microbiology, measles is one of the most contagious viruses that we know of. It is one of the deadliest childhood diseases, causing more infant deaths than any other vaccine-preventable disease. The disease can come with many complications like diarrhea, pneumonia, and malnutrition. In developing countries, it can even cause permanent disabilities. Measles is an airborne viral disease. It is very contagious as it can easily spread through the air from an infected person. The CDC states that measles can be in the air for up to 2 hours, where an infected person has coughed or sneezed. This leaves people who are not immune at great risk of becoming infected with measles. Belus from Vox.com writes that measles cannot be treated for. We can only treat the symptoms that it may cause. This disease is preventable by vaccines. As the Journal of Pure and Applied Microbiology states, measles was eliminated by the United States by the year 2000. So, why is it back? The reason why measles has come back with such vigor is because the anti-vaccination movement has erupted in popularity. What is the anti-vaccination movement? The Journal of Pure and Applied Microbiology states that the anti-vaccination movements are made up of parents that are affected by their children having neurological conditions and they don't know the origin of it, so they blame the vaccine. The anti-vaccination movements have built up in momentum, with people blaming vaccines for a variety of things. They have caused people to get scared of vaccines. And now people are refusing to vaccinate their children because they believe it will harm them. Vaccines, in their eyes, are unnatural and unnecessary. Some of the myths provided by the Journal of Pure and Applied Microbiology is that vaccines cause autism. Mercury in the vaccines is a neurotoxin, which they are no longer using mercury anymore, and how delaying vaccines is safer for children. Some religious groups choose not to vaccinate, which leads to disease outbreaks within them. This is stated by McNeil from the New York Times. Some people have stopped vaccinating and it has ruined our herd immunity. With the way vaccines work, a certain amount of people have to get vaccinated so that we can build up a herd immunity, and it protects those who cannot be vaccinated yet or have been immunocompromised. Belus from Vox.com states that herd immunity is when the disease is less likely to spread because of the amount of people who have been vaccinated for it. And it protects those who cannot be vaccinated yet or have not been vaccinated. Next, I will discuss some potential solutions that can be used when people have stopped vaccinating. The vaccine debate has stated that vaccines do work, as the individual getting vaccinated can develop immunity for the disease without contracting it and getting sick first. Vaccines should be mandatory, and we should keep track of those who are not receiving them. We should make vaccines accessible to all, and for parents who choose not to vaccinate their kids, there should be rules in place that the child is not allowed in a public setting in order to protect others. There should be laws in place that without a valid reason, those who are not yet vaccinated should not be allowed to travel or be in spaces that would expose others to diseases. There should be fines for parents who don't vaccinate their kids, and those kids should not be allowed in public places like daycares, parks, or even schools. We should make the parents face the repercussions of other children getting sick from their children not being vaccinated, which includes paying for hospital and doctor visits and medications that those children might need. Some places have even started fining the parents or jail time, such as Hungary at this moment. Now I will take some time to review everything. Without enforcing vaccinations, vaccine-preventable diseases like the measles are more prevalent within our society, and less vaccinated people means less herd immunity. First, I discussed how measles has made a comeback when it was once eradicated. Then, I mentioned how the anti-vaccination movement has brought back vaccine-preventable diseases and has decreased our herd immunity. This puts the elderly, immunocompromised, and infants at risk of getting fatal diseases that could be prevented. Finally, I provide ways that we can solve this issue by requiring vaccines for everyone, making them readily accessible, and providing consequences for those that are able to be vaccinated and choose not to. Getting vaccinated allows us to protect those who are susceptible to diseases. When people choose not to vaccinate their kids, they are putting their kids and other kids at risk. We need to accept the fact that vaccines work, and we can stop the spread of terrible diseases if everyone just gets vaccinated.